Every film has its own unique beginnings, and this one was no different. I had done a documentary film on Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the great German theologian, and I was invited to come and present the film and to talk at Loma Linda University Church, and we had about 1,000 people that came out that night. And we were out for the weekend, and my wife and I were given the tour of the Loma Linda Medical Center, and we had a chance to see the proton accelerator and to meet Dr. Len Bailey. And my first thought was, this is just a great film in the making here, because what you have is this juxtaposition between a faith tradition that I think people would call maybe conservative or traditional, and yet at the same time, it's promoting 21st century cutting-edge medical science and wellness. And the balance of those two things I found fascinating, and so that became the genesis for our film. Well, for the last several generations, healthcare has been really focused on specialization. And that's good. Great things have come out of that. But what you're seeing now in the beginning of the 21st century is a new appreciation, a new acceptance of the fact that as human beings, we have three components: body, mind, and spirit. And that trinity is critical to the understanding of how to treat people. And that if one of those components is ill or failing, then the other two are in jeopardy. And that if you only treat one of those aspects, the body or the mind or the spirit, that the other two being neglected, I think the person really suffers. The Adventists understood that right from the very beginning. Even 150 years ago, that was part of the way that they wanted to approach healthcare and medicine. They're not the only faith tradition that does that. But at the same time, it's served them very well over these last 150 years to approach healthcare from that basic principle that you treat the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. Well, we've made 25 films now, and with every film you learn something. You hope that you learn something, and for me, you can't spend all the time that we have over these last many, many months making the film in the hospitals and in the wellness centers and not taking account of the way that you're living your own life. So I'm in my late 50s now, and I'm thinking a lot about this. I don't smoke, except occasionally at a gathering of some kind. I don't drink. But really, I've learned that that's really not enough. I've given much more attention now to the idea of, do I want to eat meat? Do I want to change the way that the diet that I live with? So I'm focusing more on a plant-based diet, much more exercise, and a commitment to really living a healthier life. I believe that I owe it to myself. I believe that I owe it to my family. And I do believe that the body is on loan from God, so I owe that to God too.